The following program is presented by the Metropolitan Library Service Agency.
Hello, welcome to All About Kids, a program focusing on the interests of children and young people and some of the issues affecting them. Our guests today are the 1994-95 Bloomington All-Star Readers. Representatives from each of the fourth grade classes in the city of Bloomington will describe some of their favorite books. Children's Services Librarians Pearl Hunt-McCain and Ann Johnson will be talking with media specialist Thea Holtan from the Hillcrest Community School in Bloomington about this collaborative project.
Welcome to the 1994-95 Bloomington All-Star Celebration. This is the 5th year of a very successful collaboration between the Bloomington Public Schools media directors and the Bloomington Public Libraries. A bit of history about the Bloomington 4th grade All-Stars. 5 years ago, we noticed that the demographics were changing in the city, and also there were many students who were not aware of the resources that were available in the Bloomington Public Libraries. 5 media directors and the 2 Children's Services Librarians in the public libraries formed a committee to devise a program that was both fun and attractive for the students in Bloomington. The 4th graders were chosen because they were able to read more longer novels, and we could introduce them to a wider range of genre. Students in the 4th grade vote on their favorite of 10 titles, and each year we notice that there's more and more enthusiasm in the 4th graders. For instance, one 5th grader came into my library and he asked for the 4th grade All-Stars titles. And I asked him which one did he think that would be the winner this year. And he says, I cannot vote. I'm in the 5th grade. He was interested in reading one of the titles that the 4th graders were reading. Thea Holtan will tell you a little bit about what is happening in the schools.
In the schools, from the school scene, we have media people who select the books. And the selection process involves their expertise in looking at what books the students would like or have liked, and the books that they would enjoy. They also are books, though, of quality that lead to some good thinking skills. So with the purpose of the selection then, the purpose of the whole activity is for children to be able to read these books for enjoyment. That's one big purpose, simply to enjoy the books, to share the thinking about them and to talk about them and to share what made them enjoy them. Another purpose, however, is for them to be able to use the books to analyze fiction, which is a series of skills that many people don't have, but our children are acquiring them at early ages through excellent quality books. And as they analyze, they look at the elements and they look at the devices, and they can analyze them as groups, learning how to do that in group book talks or as individuals. So the purpose then would be twofold: enjoyment or analysis. And another thing that's done with the books is that the media people and the Hennepin County Libraries have linked the children to authors. And this joint effort to link the children to authors has been very beneficial. The children can write to the authors, or they have met authors, and authors write back. They link to authors through researching about authors and their kind of writing and matching it to the books that they're actually reading. And then finally, as Pearl was saying, beyond the 4th grade then, this lasts. And in our buildings, especially the two that have the 5 and 6, the grades 5 and 6, we do see children reading those books and going on with book talks and carrying that right into the classroom, so that these 4th grade books really become a great foundation for the grade 4, 5, 6 grade age groups. At this time, Anne will be giving us some other perspectives dealing with.
I just want to mention briefly what happens towards the end of this program, which is usually in February. February is I Love to Read Month, and also Bloomington Loves Its Kids Month. So in February, all the 4th graders that have been reading these books since probably October of the fall, they get to vote. All the 4th graders that have read at least 7 out of the 10 titles get to vote on which one they feel is their favorite for that particular year. And then all the students that do vote get a special pin as part of that. And then we plan a final celebration announcement party, usually for the end of February. This year, the announcement party will be held on Saturday, February 25th, 1995, at 10:30 a.m. at the Penn Lake Community Library, which is located at 8800 Penn Avenue South in Bloomington. Our special guest this year will be Barbara Juster Espenson, and she will talk about the process of writing nonfiction and poetry for children. She has been a resident of Edina for many years, and she's the author of many acclaimed books of nonfiction for children, including books about the loon and the great horned owl, and adapting some folk tales as well. She's also the author of several distinguished poetry collections for children, including Who Shrank My Grandmother's House? And that one was an American Library Association notable book for children for 1993. She seems to capture the magic of ordinary discoveries in her poetry, and she strives to bring nature alive for children. She's also very proud of the fact that she recently received the 1994 NCTE Award for Excellence in Poetry for Children, which is a Lifetime Achievement Award given only once every 3 years. So at the announcement party, some of her books will be available for purchase and for signing. And again, at the party, the winning title will be announced, treats will be served, and we'll have fun. So we hope many students, media specialists, parents, teachers, librarians, any interested people will come and join us, meet Barbara Juster Espenson, and share in the fun and the joy of books and reading. And now, why don't we see what our student reviewers have to say about the exciting all-star books for 1994 and 95.
Hi, we're from Westwood School. My name is Steve Edlifson.
My name's Brandy Erickson.
My name is Rachel Beckman.
My name's Jessica Swartz.
Our book is Anne Frank. Anne Frank, Life in Hiding is the true story of a teenage girl who kept a diary about the 2 years her and her family spent hiding from the Germans. During World War II, the Germans were killing all the Jews because their leader Hitler was against them. Anne and her family lived in Amsterdam and Holland. Originally they lived in Germany, but moved to Holland because the Germans did not take over that country yet. Anne was very sad, and they were still sad. Anne was very sad because she had to leave her cat behind.
When Anne was in school, she got in trouble because she talked too much. As a punishment, her teacher made her write. Writing was not a punishment for her because she loved it and was a good writer. Because things were getting dangerous for the Jewish people in Amsterdam, Anne and her family had to go into hiding. Anne's family included her shy, smart sister Margot, her mother, and her father Otto. Originally 7 people, including Anne, hid in the same attic above an office. Then another man, a dentist, joined them.
In the attic, they had to be very careful. They had to be very quiet, but Anne had trouble with that because she is a blabbermouth. The windows had to be covered with black curtains so there was no outside light. They couldn't run water or flush toilets during the day. They had to pour water into pans the night before if they wanted to use water. One time, Peter, the young boy, also hiding in the attic, spilled a large bag of beans. This made a lot of noise, but they did not get caught. While she was living in the attic, Anne wrote a diary that she called Kitty. This helped her pass the time.
The 8 people hiding in the attic were eventually discovered by the Germans, and they all had to go to a concentration camp. At the camp, the Jews had to be tattooed and had to have their heads shaved. They were not treated very well. At Anne's concentration camp, one of her old school friends threw her a sack of food and clothing to her, but someone else caught it. Anne and her sister got very sick with typhus at the camp. Her sister Margot died. 2 months before the war was over, Anne died. Her father, Otto Frank, was the only survivor of the 8 who hid in the attic. When Otto Frank went back to the attic, he found Anne's diary pages that fell out of a suitcase. The Germans did not take them. Her father took Anne's writings and had them published. That was in 1947, almost 50 years ago, and her diary is still very famous today, all over the world.
This is a good book because it is very sad but still with funny parts, and because it is a true story. We recommend you read it and share it with your family and friends.
How many times have you moved in your life? If you said more than 10 times, you would be just like Janie Larkin in the story Blue Willow.
Even though the Blue Willow story is 50 years old, a lot of kids can relate to it because even today, kids have to move with their families because of their parents' work.
The author of this story is Doris Gates. The story Blue Willow takes place in California where she was living at the time. The author was working in a library and that gave her the inspiration to write this book.
I'm Joyce and this is Carrie, and we're from Valley View School. We're going to tell you a little bit more about Blue Willow.
In this story, the only thing that Janie Larkin wanted was to be able to stay in one place for a long time, but her parents moved around because her dad needed to move where jobs were.
Janie Larkin moved a lot of times. She wanted to make friends and go to a real school. When she moved, she always brought something special with her. It was passed down to her by her mom. She kept it with her always. It was a plate, a Blue Willow plate. It had a picture of a beautiful place with a bridge, a house, and willow trees.
Why would a girl keep a plate and take it with her like Janie Larkin did? It was always Janie's dream to live in a place just like the one in the Blue Willow plate.
If you want to know if her dream comes true, read the book Blue Willow by Doris Gates. If you're hearing impaired and watching this program, you will know.
Hi, my name is Laurel Ringheim, reporter from the Indian Mounds TV station. This report just in from the scene of a possible murder at Indian Creek. Have you ever discovered anything unusual while camping near a creek? Here's what 2 of our local students found recently. A face was staring up with dead eyes, its mouth open, its hair swirling in the creek water. Matthew Armentrout and his friend Parker Pettingill had found a male Caucasian lying in Indian Creek. After further investigation, the police department has determined that he'd been murdered. No suspects have been charged. However, after a long night of questioning, one of the suspects is still being questioned at this hour. Some of the evidence may be out at the old mill, but Parker Pettingill and Matthew Armentrout are still pursuing leads, as some of the evidence found so far makes their story seem almost totally unbelievable. Nobody, that is, except perhaps the killer, is taking them very seriously. If you read this book entitled The Dead Man in Indian Creek by Mary Donningham, you can join Parker Pettingill and Matthew Armentrout in an adventure they'll probably never forget. While they try to find out who killed the dead man in Indian Creek, they are also trying extremely hard to rescue Parker's mom. I'd like to recommend this book for anyone who likes exciting mystery or adventure stories.
Hi, I'm Libby and
I'm Kelly.
We're from Washburn Elementary.
The book we read is Fox in a Trap by Jane Rush Thomas.
This book is about a boy named Daniel who wants to be just like his Uncle Pete. His uncle works for a magazine and they send him all over the world on hunting expeditions.
When his uncle comes for a visit and offers to take Daniel fox trapping, Daniel's father says Daniel won't like it.
But Daniel is eager to show his father that he's not the way that he used to be and that he's not a baby anymore.
But when Daniel finds out what they use for bait, he begins to think that his father might be right.
To find out if Daniel likes fox trapping, you'll have to read the book yourself. You'll really enjoy the book Fox in a Trap by Jane Rash Thomas.
Hi, we're from Normandale Hills Elementary School, and we're representing Lizard Music by Daniel Manis Pinkwater. I'm Adam El-Rashidi.
And I'm Robbie Meek.
The movie was so good that I forgot all about how scary it was and that I was all alone in the middle of the night. Until it was over, that is. Then I thought about the dreams I was going to have, and then I felt a cold chill.
I was almost to the point of running into the kitchen and looking up the number of the resort where Mom and Dad were staying when the lizards came on the screen. These were real lizards, not people dressed up as lizards, and they played regular musical instruments. At first it was scarier than the movie, especially the close-ups, but as the lizards played and swayed together, I sort of got used to it. The music sounded funny at first, but I got used to it very fast. And then I liked it more than anything I'd ever heard. I didn't think about liking it. I didn't think about anything. I just listened to the music and swayed with the lizards.
Every time they stopped playing, I felt afraid that they wouldn't start again. But I don't know when they stopped because I woke up on the couch in the morning. The television was still on, hissing. No picture, just a bunch of little dots jumping around. At first, when I woke up, I listened for sounds of people in the house. Then I remembered I was all alone.
Now to bring you up to what is happening, let me give you some background. When Victor's parents go away for 2 weeks, Victor goes on his own vacation, right at home. Now he can order pizza with anchovies and stay up as late as he wants and watch his favorite television show.
After the late show one night, something very strange happens. A band of lizards appear on the screen playing the most outrageous music Victor has ever heard. They're not in the TV listings. The networks don't know anything about them. But every night, they're there.
With the help of the chicken man, who keeps a hen named Claudia under his hat, Victor is able to track down the lizards. The journey takes him to Thunderbolt City, on a trip that will change the way Victor sees the world forever.
There is a mission that the lizards need help with. You will need to read the book Lizard Music by Daniel Manis Pinkwater to find out what the mission is and if it is completed. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jenna Studi from Alston Elementary, and I just read the book Mississippi Bridge. This is the story of Jeremy, his family, Josiah, the Logans, Miss Hattie, and Grace Ann, and other people who lived in Jeremy's hometown and what it was like to live in the South during the 1930s. It all starts at the general store where people are taking shelter from the rain and waiting for the bus. While waiting for the bus, the story describes how colored people had different rules than white people. For example, Rudine was not allowed to try on a hat in the store that she liked because she had colored skin. Josiah could not tell the truth about his new job because he wanted to prevent a fight with Jeremy's pa. Jeremy's pa was white. Josiah was colored, and many white folks didn't have jobs, which made Jeremy's pa think that Josiah was lying. All the colored folks, Josiah, Rudine, and Big Ma Logan, had to get off the bus for the white folks. The rain and fog got worse while Jeremy followed the Logans to the bridge. He tried to talk to Stacy Logan and be his friend, but Stacy didn't seem to understand Jeremy, probably because most of the white people were mean to blacks. Once the bus was loaded, it started moving down the road much too fast. When it reached the bridge, it went through the railing of the bridge and fell into the creek. Even though Josiah was sad that he didn't get his job, he jumped in and started saving people. Jimmy ran back to the general store and told his pa the bad news. Miss Hattie and Grace Ann died. Other people were drowning. It seemed that when a bad thing happened, the colored and the white all worked together to save people from dying. Stacy believed Jeremy when he told him that Stacy's grandmama was not on the bus.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Miller.
And I'm Caitlin Lair.
We're from Oak Grove Elementary.
And we're doing a report on Morning Girl. Morning Girl is about a Native American brother and sister who like opposite things. For example, Morning Girl is up at the crack of dawn, and Starboy likes to sleep at daytime. Here's a paragraph from the book that explains their relationship. I don't know how my brother came to see everything so upside down for me. For him, night is day, sleep is awake. It's as though time is split between us, and we only pass by each other as the sun rises or sets. Usually for me, that's enough.
Morning Girl is about... We think this book is interesting to read because you can imagine yourself in their place. Morning Girl and Starboy are explaining important events in their life. In only 72 pages, Michael Doris, the author, is trying to tell kids what life was like in 1492 on a Bahamian island. We encourage people young and old to read this book.
Hi, I'm Rachel Dobratz, and we're from Ridgeview. I am 10 years old, and we're here to tell you something about a book called Skinny Bones.
Hi, my name's Emma Louise Holland, and I'm also here to talk about the book Skinny Bones, and I am 9 years old.
Skinny Bones is an all-star book about a boy and all the kids in his school. The kids make fun of him and call him Skinny Bones.
Skinny Bones is an excellent book for people who like funny books. There were a lot of funny parts. We are going to tell you our favorite parts of the book, Skinny Bones.
My favorite part was when Skinny Bones knocked over the kitty litter and his mom says, "Have you been having a snack of kitty litter?"
My favorite part is when the baseball game and Skinny Bones prays that it will rain for the rest of the game, but it didn't. Not, and his ex-friend TJ won. It was a funny because he prayed about it.
Another favorite part of mine was when he was telling one of his friends, "Just look me up in Hollywood or New York. I'll be in the yellow pages under star."
I am going to tell you more when they are sitting down and the medal will be given. Skinny Bones says, "It won't be me, but it might be, and it might not."
Hi, I'm Jason Rittenauer.
I'm Katie Bray.
And I'm Jenny Dom. We're from Poplar Bridge, and we've read the book Snow Treasure. Snow Treasure is written by Marie McSwiggan and illustrated by Andre LeBlanc. Snow Treasure is a story of courage and adventure. It takes place in 1940 in Europe during World War II. Norway owns $9 million worth of gold, which needs to be transported to the United States to be kept safe. Peter, Helga, and some of their friends, who are all only 10 years old, must take gold from the fjord down to Uncle Victor's boat, because any adults outside were under strict surveillance.
On other days, they put gold on their snowmen. Their only problem is that the Nazi guards who watch them every day might suspect them of something. If all the gold gets out of the fjord, will it get transported safely, or will they get caught? It's a dangerous plan, but will it work? It meant risking their country's treasure and their lives.
We really liked this book, and if you read Snow Treasure, we hope you like it too.
Hi, I'm Shelley Greco.
And I'm Allison Kulke. We're from Hillcrest Community School.
We're here to tell you about Tuck Everlasting. Tuck Everlasting is about the Tucks who live forever and a girl who gets to know them really well and becomes their friends.
Winnie is the girl that knows them really well. She's 10 years old. She's slender. She feels closed in and confused, and she's energetic and determined.
There's May Tuck, who's the mother of the Tucks, and Miles and Jesse, who are brothers. And Miles is 20, and he'll always stay 20 because he drank some spring water that helps him, that stops them right where they are and they can't die. And Jesse's 17. Tuck is the father, is caring and protective.
The man in the yellow suit is kind of the bad guy in the story, and he gets the forest that the spring is in with the water, and
because Winnie ran away with the Tucks, and so he said if he could have the forest that he'll find Winnie, and he's going to sell the spring water to some people so that they don't die.
The story's problem is, should Winnie live forever? Should she drink the water and live forever?
Three or four things that happened in between the problem and the solution is Jessie gave Winnie this bottle of water so when she was 17 she could drink it and marry him. Another thing is Winnie and May switched places in jail because May killed the man in the yellow suit because he was taking Winnie away back to the Fosters. That's her family. And so May went in jail, and Winnie and the Tuck family, the rest of them, went and got the bars out of the jail window, and then Winnie went in and hid under a blanket to look like May.
And the solution to the problem is she grew up to be a woman and died. She didn't drink the water, and Tuck, seeing her gravestone, said good girl because she didn't drink the water.
This story was told in narrative form, thoughts and actions and dialogue.
The plot development is past tense and told by the third person.
The purpose or the theme of the story was it's better for life to end when it's supposed to.
So some evidence you see in the characters' traits are the Tuck's unhappiness when they drank the spring water.
What evidence you see in the plot's actions to prove the purpose or the theme? Winnie's decision to not drink the water, and Tuck seeing Winnie's gravestone and saying good girl.
Which brings back to the purpose or theme. It's better for life to end when it's supposed to.
Those fourth grade students really are all-star readers. Thank you, students. Thank you, Ann Johnson, Pearl Hunt-McCain, and Thea Holtan. Thanks to all of you for joining us on All About Kids. Please tune in again.
This has been a presentation of Hennepin County Library in conjunction with the Twin Cities Metropolitan Library Service Agency.